Want to know why? Ask how. Howard the Humongous. Tuesday, the world was shocked by one of the strangest war stories of the century. Between 2,800 and 4,000 pagers went off in the hands or the pockets of Hezbollah terrorists in Lebanon as the fighters went about their daily lives. Yes, pagers, old-fashioned pagers, exploded. In fact, pagers blew up from Lebanon's capital Beirut and its Bekaa Valley all the way to Damascus in Syria, killing 32 people and wounding at least 4,000, including 19 members of Iran's military, its Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, in Damascus, and injuring the ambassador of Iran to Lebanon, who lost his eye. Then a day later, as a crowd of thousands was attending the funeral of 4 of the pager explosion victims in Beirut, another round of detonations went off. This time, the exploding devices were walkie-talkies, home solar systems, and fingertip scanners. Again, the targets pinpointed by these explosions were members of a group committed to a war crime, committed to a genocide, a group committed to the annihilation of Israel. The target was a group that also claims the United States is the Great Satan, a group that has killed over 260 Americans. The bullseyes of the exploding gadgets were the terrorists of Hezbollah. How did these pagers and walkie-talkies get into Hezbollah terrorists' hands? 5 months ago, Hezbollah decided that smartphones were not safe. Israel's intelligence services could capture smartphone signals and use them to read a Hezbollah member's location and to listen to his phone calls. What's more, they could turn the devices on and listen when the Hezbollah member was not even on a call. The head of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, declared in February that the phone that we have in our hands is a listening device. The phone in your hands, in your wife's hands, and in your children's hands is the Israeli intelligence agent. In other words, your phone is an Israeli spy. Urged Nasrallah, bury it. Put it in an iron box and lock it. But there was a better solution. Hezbollah purchased 5,000 rugged gold Apollo A924 pagers with an 85-day battery life made in Hungary. However, there was a hitch. The Hungarian company manufacturing the pagers and sending them to Hezbollah, BAC Consulting, was an Israeli front. Meanwhile, 2 top officials of the United Nations, which has a despicable bias against Israel, claimed the exploding pagers and walkie-talkies were a war crime. Many others said they were an escalation of the war in the Middle East. But were the exploding pagers really an escalation? In reality, the exploding pagers, walkie-talkies, home solar systems, and Hezbollah fingertip scanners were a de-escalation of the Middle East war. Yes, a de-escalation. Why? Because half of the story is missing from the mainstream media's coverage of the Middle East. The missing half is the war that Hezbollah has been waging against Israel every day since the Hamas atrocities of October 7th. Remember, Hamas is to Israel's south. Hezbollah is to Israel's north. Hamas and Hezbollah are the jaws of a vice, with Israel locked in between them. In the months since Hamas started the Mideast war with the rape, torture, and slaughter of Israelis, Hezbollah has fired 8,500 rockets and drones at northern Israel. Yes, you heard that right. 8,500 rockets and drones. And Hezbollah has frequently launched as many as 100 rockets and drones in a single day. As you know, Israel has an extraordinary air defense system, the Iron Dome. But despite the Iron Dome, many of these Hezbollah rockets and drones have gotten through. Their warheads have destroyed houses, burned the crops and farm fields, and killed civilians. More important, Hezbollah rockets and drones have driven 80,000 Israelis from their homes. They've turned 80,000 Israelis into displaced persons, into internal refugees. So anything Israel can do to stop Hezbollah's attacks is deeply needed. Israel cannot allow these rockets and drone attacks to continue. For the last 2 months, an Israeli invasion of Lebanon has seemed inevitable. But a full-scale invasion of Lebanon is an escalation that even Israel does not want. Instead, it blew up pagers in the pockets of Hezbollah terrorists. Now, which is the real escalation? Exploding pagers or Hezbollah's barrage of 8,500 rockets? This is Howard Bloom, speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job to make. Or, want to know why? Ask how. And now for that ridiculous little off button.